So yeah, so I'm just going to recap then. I'm just hit record. I uploaded last week's thing to YouTube. I need to send you the link as well. Now let's try this. G major, root position, starting on the E string. My root is on the E string, so the idea here is to climb up as high as I can and then come back down, right? So G, B, D, G, B, G, D, B, G. This is our G major. This is the same kind of idea, but centered on the A string, on the 10th fret of the A string. This is my major triad. 1, 3, 5, G, B, D. I can hit the octave there. I come back to where I started, but I can still go below, hit the 5th below, and then back to the root. Right? As if I had an extra note here on the next bar. Let me just quickly write it like that. Yeah, that's it. And again, this is not the kind of thing you do in most songs, but it's good to do that so your ears and fingers and hands and mind know the shapes of the scales and the sound of them. Now everything is rooted on the D string, and I'm playing a triad from there. G, B, D, and I have nowhere else to reach. Remember the rule, I'm not allowed to jump up and down the neck. I'm trying to stay close to the same area here without shifting or stretching too much. So G, B, D, B, G. I can do the 5th here, which is the D. I can do the 3rd there, which is the 7th fret B, and then climb back to where I started. And again, if I have to do an extra little bar there to show us that we're going full circle and back to where we started. So it's something like this. Now let's have a look at the minor counterpart. And you can see it's exactly the same thing, except that we've got B flats. If you look at the top line, if I ditch the tab notation, so let's just have a look at the standard notation. If you look at what's written on the top line and what's written on the bottom line, it's exactly the same thing. The only difference is that on the bottom line, all the B's are flat. All the B's have been flattened. So this is dealing with the notes G, B, and D. This is dealing with the notes G, B flat, and D. And that kind of generates different patterns and fingering and stuff to the left hand. But ultimately, if you think about the notes that we're playing, they are still G, B, and D, except that now the B's are flats. So here we go. From the root on the E string, fret 3, that would be my 1, 3, 5 octave, and come back. But I can also reach that B flat there. So what I get is 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. And when I'm saying these numbers, I'm referring to the notes of the chord, right? The scale. First note of the scale, 3rd or flat 3. And I'm starting with G and ending with G. This is what happens if I start on the 8th string. I start on the G, go up by 1 octave to that high G there, reverse back down, and I can still reach that 5th and then come back to the root. And now what we get if we start on the D string, which would be 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1. G, B flat, D, B flat, G, D, B flat, D, G. So it's super useful to know these notes. It's a bit of a, it's not the most exciting thing. It's not as fun as playing a song. But if you understand a little bit of your fretboard geometry, geography, whatever the word of, if you learn the map of the neck of your guitar, if you learn the map of the fretboard, it saves you a lot of hassle, allows you to play the same thing in different ways. It just opens up loads of different possibilities. Now let's try and find a practical example of this kind of idea. As I promised at the start, let's see if we can build a walking bass line. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a jazz standard, probably the most common jazz standard used by teachers in this kind of lesson. It is Autumn Leaves, because it's got that kind of 2-5-1 chord progression everywhere, and it's a good very didactic example. It doesn't matter. If I start talking here about this, I won't stop. So let's try and map it out. I'll give you the chords. This is A minor. You could add some sevens. I'm not gonna go into sevens too much. Only for the dominant chords, which is a D7 here, and then we're gonna go to G major, and then we're gonna go to C major. That is the first 4 bars. Let's see what happens here. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, B7, E minor, and E7. Okay, so don't be intimidated by the big name of some of these chords. Let's try and map them out. Let's try and find the roots, right? If we would just play roots, what would we do, right? Where is A? Where is D? Yeah, can you find D on the neck of your bass? Do you need me to show you a D? Yeah, fret 5, very good. Where is the G? I mean, I shouldn't be asking this. We just talked about G for a few minutes. That would be the G. Yes, good. And the C. Ooh, look at that. Can you see a little pattern emerging already? You can see that we're just going up in fourths. Fret F sharp is here. G is next door neighbor. B is going to be there. Yes, you can play B there. You can play B here. It's entirely up to you. I'd like to use the second fret there because you can see the pattern very, very clearly, right? You see A to the D. Where's the piano sound going? Okay. And E. Okay, we should all know where E is. Should I go for the easy, big, open E? Yeah, let's do it simple for now, right? So these are some basic root notes. And I'm just going to play the chords, and I want you to play these notes on your bass. Simple as it is. Please bear with me. It's going to get a bit more interesting soon, but for the time being, just play those notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, A and D, G and C, F sharp and B and E, and again A, C, F. Yep, so far so good. Nothing too, interesting or exciting about this. Now, what I want to do is make it a bit more movement. I said walking bass, and we are kind of like this very static, sleepy bass. Let's make these notes walk. So the first idea of how to walk, there are no rules, but the normal general thing is that we're gonna get a driving, well, walking or driving, make up your mind. It's a constant flow of quarter notes. Dang, 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 dang. Every beat brings a new note. And we can't stay on the same note. It would be too weird to just go. Okay, you can do that. If you're kind of panicking and you don't know what to do on that one bar, that's fine. You can get away with it. But it's more like a jumping on the same spot rather than walking. I want to walk. So how can I walk an A minor? Well, remember we just did that for D. That would be my A minor chord arpeggio thing, right? Look at that. If I go back to the previous, do I still have it? Yeah, I do. Look at this. Remember this was G minor. If I want to turn it into an A, all I got to do is shift it up by 2 frets. So all I'm doing is this. That worked for G. Well, it will work for A, right? So let's try and do that for the A minor part. And what about the D7? Well, I can do D7 like that. Major, right? Borrowing from the major shape. Let me zoom in a little bit. Now let's try that. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it works. It's nice. It's a bit predictable and simple, but okay. We'll make it more interesting as we go along. What happens to the G? Well, G is a G major, so we've got this. What happens to the C? Well, C is major. It's kind of similar to what we just did to the G. Is it big enough on your screens? Can you read okay like that? Cool, let me know. Otherwise, I can change. F sharp minor 7 flat 5. What in the world is that? Well, you've got to take two important hints from that. One is it's a minor chord, so we are going to be doing this kind of thing, right? Yes, but the 5 is flat. So I need to take that fifth note of the scale and flatten it, right? So what we're doing actually is a slightly different shape. It looks a lot like the minor one, but we take the fifth note, and you may be thinking, why fifth? It's the third that we're playing. Well, but when we're playing arpeggios, we are alternating, we're skipping notes, right? So this is note 1 from the chord, this is note 3 from the chord, this is note 5 from the chord, and that's the one that would normally be played like that, and I'm playing it like this. So this is our F sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord. If I wanted to go for the 7th, it would be this, which is even better. So try that. Yeah, a normal minor chord would be this. I know I said it before, but I really want to highlight this is a normal minor. I'm going to keep the octave. Let's not deal with sevenths yet. I don't want to complicate things too much. This would be a normal F sharp minor. Now, F sharp minor 7 flat 5 involves flattening the fifth, which gives us this. Right? Okay, enough of talking. Let's move on. B7, and again, I'm not going to deal with the sevenths yet. Let's try and keep it like a simple major chord. This is a simple minor chord, and this is a simple major chord. So again, stop me if anything gets a bit too weird. All I'm doing is triads. All we're doing here is playing triads to each one of those chords. So let's try that. I'll play. Let me do it on the bass first, and then we'll do it on guitar. So yeah, and let's get a click going and yeah, kind of half, not too fast, but not too slow either. That's cool. Ready, 1, 2, 3, 4. A, D, G, C, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and B7, and the E minor, and the E major. Maybe that's a bit too fast. Let me slow it down to make sure that you're following me. I'll do it again, and I'll bring my camera on. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor, D7, G, C, F sharp minor, flat 5, the B7, the E major, E minor, and E major. All right, now you do that while I'll play the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor, D7, and to the G, from the top again. A minor coming now, A minor, D, and G. Don't follow my rhythm, I'm playing some different rhythms, but you should be constantly walking at the same pace. One note every beat, from the B7 and to E minor and E7, and again from the top. A G, C, and F sharp, B7, and E minor, E7. Okay, so that works, but I'm not doing anything very clever here. I mean, you don't need to be. It needs to be nice and smooth. But you can see every single bar is like a line going up. Always remember what I said at the start of this lesson, that you need to think of going down as well as going up. You need to make it a bit more smooth. This is not very smooth. You got 4 notes going up, you find a new root, go up, find a new root, go up. So what can we do to make this a bit more interesting and smooth? So one thing, I mean, look at that. Let's ditch this note for now. I've got the main A minor chord there, and I need to be here for the D. What would be the obvious bridging note to play between the E and the D there? It doesn't belong to the chord necessarily, but is a linear approach to use a quick D sharp there. That makes it a lot more smooth and makes it connect way better. So what we get is, that is a nice way to make our A minor chord lead us into the D. You with me there? Do you see what I'm doing? Now, okay, I'm going to do something to the D as well, because that again is going way too high. No. Remember when we were doing the previous exercise where I said, okay, if you're starting on the E string, you can only go up. But if you are starting on the A string, you can find notes below to go to. So what I'm going to do now is not to go up from the D, but to go down from the D. Let's lose these notes here and do something like this. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, what about that? Look at that. I went from the root down to the 5th on the string below, back to the root, and then there. So that's kind of cool. Let me try this on the bass. Hello, Terry. Thanks for joining us once again. Welcome back. Okay, here we go. Ooh, what have I done? I've pressed the wrong key. I've got some funny brackets there. There we go. So this is my A minor. That little D sharp there, or E flat if you like, is just I'm just using it as a little bridge to lead me into the D. And once I hit the D, I mean, there's nothing wrong with what we had done before. There's nothing that's not right. That's not wrong. I'm just trying to make it a bit more smooth. And what I'm doing is this, going down to the 5th, back to the D, and to the F sharp, which is the 3rd of the D. Okay, so let's see if we can do those first four notes, now 8 notes, first 2 bars with a click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I did more than that. I'll try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that makes my walking bass a lot more smooth. I'm not having to make big jumps. Yeah, the idea of the walking bass is that I've got constant strides on every single beat, and that the next step is going to be somewhat near where I am. Avoid big leaps. And that's going to be a problem because I can see a big leap right there and then, right? So look at that. We managed to navigate nicely and smoothly up until that G, but that from that F sharp to the G, there's a big jump. There are no, fixed rules here. Nothing is set in stone. We can bend the rules. It's all art, but at the same time, I don't like that. But think about it. This note is also part of the G, and it's right next to the F sharp that we played. So if what if I don't play this G ascending? What if we do this? I'm just going to mirror this line, this bar here. What if I do this instead? Exactly the same notes, just backwards. That solves my problem because the F sharp is right next to the G. Now I've got a D sharp right next to the D here. Actually, I should call this an E flat. I'm sorry, I'm a bit picky about these things. So I've got that E flat just leading me nicely to the D, and I've got an F sharp leading me smoothly again into the G right there. So let's see if we can do that. I'm going to go all the way here and then we'll talk about what we've done so far. So here's the beat. Click. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor to the D and G. Nice. That's good. I like that. And once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor to the D7 and G and C. Okay, maybe that C is going a little bit too high to my liking. Going all the way up to that big C there is not great. But okay. No, it's not okay. Let's borrow from here. Remember what we did to the D? That worked nicely. Instead of going up, which is the obvious way to go always, let's go down and back up. Again, I'm using the exact same notes. I'm just playing around with them. What can I do to these? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now I'm just for time purposes, I'm just gonna keep as much. It's the same kind of rules that I am applying here. I'm trying to find notes that can make the transition smooth or connect those notes nicely. And actually, this is the same as here, right? Look at that. I'm going for my F sharp minor flat 5. So dun, dun, dun. The normal minor chord would be like that. We're doing the flat 5 thing, coming back there to the B. Dun, dun, dun. And again, not going, I don't want to go too high up. I want to do this and mirror this one here so that the E is right next to the E. So I'm speeding up a little bit with my explanation, but I think you can probably make sense of what I am doing. And I don't like that repeated E here, so I'm just going to approach the E with an F sharp just to do that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's see if we can do this now. Yeah, can you see all the screen like that? I'll bring my bass and let's do it to the click. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. D and G, C, F sharp. Oh, big jump, I don't like that. But okay, too late now. Yeah, there's still one jump that I'm not a big fan of, right? So maybe for the C, I'm going to do something a bit boring. That's a kind of, oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. Wait, let's do this instead. Haha, cool. Go up first and then down. And the funny thing is that you don't compose walking bass lines like we are doing right now. I'm doing this as a kind of like teacher-student sort of exercise. In reality, you do this as you play. You know, most of these things are composed as the chords are going past you, and you're trying to weave nice patterns and lines linking the chords. And the more you do that, the better you become at it. You have some, pre-made phrases that you can pull off. But yeah, let's try this again. A 1, a 2, A 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor and D and G and C, F sharp and B, E minor, E major, and start again. Yeah, and you see how much how smooth it becomes, how much cooler it is compared to what we had at the start. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean, yeah, there's something wrong with that. It works, it fits the chords, but it sounds a bit too predictable. You know, by the third bar, your listener goes, "Oh yeah, he's going blah 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 blah." So you want to keep it a bit more interesting and linear, right? So I kind of played a little bit too fast last time. Let's slow it down, and this time you doing the bass, I'll play the chords, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor and D to the G. I'm playing big long chords, but you're supposed to be doing this. Okay, I'll play the bass notes with you. Let's try it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor to the D and G, C, F sharp, B, E minor, E major. From the top again. C, F sharp, 2, 3, 4, B, E minor, E major, and back to A minor, 2, 3, 4, D, G, C, F sharp minor, to the E, E7. Yeah, does that make sense? You following me so far? Can I speed up a bit, or should we stick to the same speed? I'm getting mixed messages there. Bia is looking a bit panicky, and Marco is giving me the thumbs up. Same speed. Okay, same speed it is. Let's try this again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies, just by my window, they falling leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses. It's okay, Terry. One more time, I'll just play the melody this time. C, and F sharp minor 2, 3, 4, and B, E minor 2, 3, 4, E7, and back to A minor 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, G, oh, sorry, F sharp and B. And this is just one possibility. For each one of these chords, I could have found different patterns, right? So we're doing this. So I'm doing that. But you know, as we established already, there are different paths and routes and things I could have done and ways to link those chords. I'm not going to write it right now. I'm just going to demonstrate it to you. I'm going to start with this one, and each loop I'm going to try and find different routes. But I'm still going to be hitting A, D, G, C, F sharp, B, and E, right? The backbone, the road stones, the milestones on the road are still going to be the same. It's just how I find my way from one chord to the other that I'm going to try and vary. So here I come, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. All of that is the same. It works. Well, I mean, I can't do both instruments at the same time. I should have. I have my loop pedal here, but it's not connected. It would have been handy to use it. But I think you get what I'm trying to do here. So try to create, you know, paths and connections between your chords. And walking bass lines are very useful. Even if you're not going to be playing jazz standards, even if you're playing, you know, rock or funk songs, this kind of exercise, thinking a lot about the notes and how you're linking these things, allows you to play simpler things. When you're looking at the simple chord, you know, 1 4 5 kind of thing, it just becomes a breeze. If you get used to navigating through this kind of chords here, playing easier stuff becomes much easier, and you find yourself doing the easier songs in way more creative kind of ways. So learning all of that jazzy stuff is useful even away from the jazz, you know, vocabulary. Does that make sense? Have I bore you too much? Cool. Again, you can always play it safe and play just roots. And sometimes the chord, it depends on the band. If you're gonna play this with a band like Oasis, and you start walking, they are gonna turn to you and say, "No, what the hell are you doing? You're not playing with Miles Davis. You know, we want just simple root notes going." So there's a time and a place. But practicing this kind of thing gives you a much broader understanding of the neck, and allows you to map the neck and come up with creative solutions for your bass lines. Okay, so I'll upload this and send you the link so you can watch it